there's a mutual respect that we have for one another. It's that level of respect that enables us to perform at a high level when we compete against each other.
It automatically makes you better.
NBA star Kobe Bryant was on board that helicopter and is now dead at the age of 41.
On January 26, 2020, after a night LeBron James himself called a dream come true, life took a turn that no soul could stomach. If it wasn't already obvious just how much of what LeBron did was because of Kobe Bryant, it was painfully apparent by the morning. He remembered when he first met Kobe at age 15 in Philly, when Kobe gave him his own size 14 shoes even though he wore a size 15. They didn't fit, but it didn't matter. Bron passed him in the same city before their lives and legacies were changed forever. No man is his own island, and no NBA legend makes a legacy on their own. You know how I know this is true? Because Allen Iverson looked different versus Michael Jordan. Yao Ming looked different versus Shaq. And LeBron James looked very, very different when he played versus Kobe Bryant. Whenever the King faced the Mamba, he needed that extra gear to reach that level to earn that respect. You could see it in his face. What we didn't see was their rivalry reach the highest stage. But in 2009, Kobe LeBron was reaching its pinnacle. You could feel it around the league. That season was destined to play host to LeBron James versus Kobe Bryant in the NBA Finals. It wasn't just Cavs fans who were thinking Kobe versus LeBron in the end. Everyone was thinking it, including the defending champs.
You know, I'm pretty sure the scouting was more heavily towards what Cleveland does.
The Lakers were champions, and the Cavs were coming off a 66-win season. It was crazy not to see them meeting up in June. And getting the top two players in basketball to do battle in the finals doesn't sound like it's asking for much. But for LeBron, carrying the Cavs past the Celtics and Magic looked impossible. Cleveland was closer to China than winning a championship that year. As far as anyone knew back then, LeBron just wasn't what Kobe was, a professional winner. So much of LeBron's early Cleveland legacy was defined by playoff shortcomings. And that's when their stark differences in legacy began. They were honestly never on the same page despite sharing the same goals. Their careers were just opposites. 22-year-old LeBron got swept in the finals. 22-year-old Kobe already had 2 rings. 25-year-old LeBron won back-to-back MVPs. 25-year-old Kobe lost Shaq, Karl Malone, and Gary Payton. The timing just wasn't there, and nobody hated it more than Kobe himself. Mostly because LeBron versus Kobe wasn't just a headliner, it was basketball at its absolute purest form. Despite playoff shortcomings, LeBron always came up clutch versus the Mamba in the regular season. You could imagine Kobe's motivation. In 2008, Bryant was undoubtedly the most dangerous and proven player in the world. He was the best player in the world, and LeBron began to endanger that. Despite winning the 2009 championship, Kobe was sharing the spotlight with LeBron's 2009 MVP. If you were Kobe, you'd honestly have every reason to believe you were the better player. It's just not what he was hearing. The opportunity to defeat who they claim is coming for your throne, to silence the disrespect, it drove the Lakers that season.
So LeBron was the only one that I knew I had to beat a great to be great.
The Lakers came into the 2009-2010 campaign still looking like champions. They won 18 of their first 21 games and took the West. But we couldn't call it a season of dominance. It was hard. and many considered it a season of doubt. It truly was a metaphor for the slippery uphill battle Kobe faced in his last dance. After you reach the top, the only thing anyone could ever talk about is how you're going to fall off. But in the most Mamba of fashions, Kobe embraced all of it. LeBron was finding himself more and more at the top of the league. Reality was finding itself further and further from expectations. So Kobe just knew this season wasn't going to be pretty. The ending wasn't going to be beating the Magic in 5. He made himself forget about the 2009 championship. He wanted to earn it all over again. He was ready for those ugly games, the ones you wouldn't want to play in, much less a 4-time champion.
Visiting Oklahoma City, Kobe Bryant flu-like symptoms all day long.
But the mentality was the same. It was probably patented at that point. It was a Mamba who could never lose because he was always learning, still looking up from the top of the world. Kobe was always on the cusp of better and never away from beautiful basketball for long. The trick was to distance fear so much so that all that was left was his pure competitive spirit. That's how he unlocked playoff Kobe. That, and facing King James in the regular season. Before 2009, LeBron and Kobe faced off 11 times, with a 6-5 count in the Kings' favor. The matchups were dead even because of Kobe and LeBron's shared obsession to get the best of each other. The mental battles were real. So real that they would change their game just when they faced each other. In their head-to-head, Kobe set the high in assists and LeBron set the high in points. They were learning from each other's strengths.
2 dribble, pump fake, reverse spin, shot.
Bryant spins, pokes it up, puts it in.
Yeah, I watch it. Yeah, I study it.
Every Laker wanted to suit up for the Kobe-LeBron war. And during the most wonderful time of the year in 2009, we saw the first of 2 battles that season. It was the main event on NBA Christmas Day. It was a statement game. The Cavs dominated, and Staples Center booed their own defending champs off their own court. It felt like Kobe couldn't do more. He had over a third of the Lakers' points, nearly capped off a triple-double, and it still wasn't enough. And why would he do more? The Lakers were the better team. We're talking Pau Gasol versus Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Metta World Peace versus Anthony Parker, Lamar Odom versus JJ Hickson, Andrew Bynum versus 38-year-old Shaq. But Kobe did do more. In fact, a month later, we witnessed quite possibly the greatest Kobe versus LeBron game we ever saw. Kobe entered the arena of the team that routed his Lakers less than a month ago. Everyone thought it was a finals preview. It was Cavs Lakers, number 1 versus number 2. The night before, Kobe shot 4 for 17. But that day, that game, he brought it early. He made dinner out of Anthony Parker. And he brought the very best out of LeBron, who had to go playoff mode when guarded by Metta, Lamar, and Kobe himself. Just watch his face, his energy, it was different. His legacy was on the line. It was being judged in the presence of the great Kobe Bryant. The Mamba scored over a third of his team's points again versus the Cavs. He hit the shot to make it a dead even game with 90 seconds remaining. He made sure this game was different than losing by 15 at home. Lake Show got everything out of the Cavaliers on the road, falling short by a single possession until they had to foul out of desperation. It took them less than a month to look like how a championship team on the road should look, and they were still 5 months from June. But for the LeBron-Kobe saga, this final matchup was all that we had left. The Cavs would hit wall after wall, Celtic after Celtic, and come up short, robbing NBA history of potentially the greatest head-to-head in finals history. And think about the legacies. Imagine if beating the King was added to Kobe's legacy, in his last dance no less. Or if LeBron tamed the Black Mamba after being swept by the Spurs, but before collapsing to Dallas. Talk about a comeback.
By the way, LeBron has a chance to go over and say hello to Kobe, who is sitting in the front row right at midcourt.
He'll play for Coach K and Team USA, slapping the floor here against the Mamba.
Here's James. Goes across the lane, lays it up, and lays it in. And there it is. He just became the third leading scorer in NBA history, passing Kobe Bryant.
He's hilarious. I mean, non-stop, though. You know what I mean? Like, it don't stop.
I want to continue along with my teammates to continue his legacy, not only for this year, but as long as we can play the game of basketball that we love, because that's what Kobe Bryant will want.
That's the most devastating thing about Kobe and LeBron. There is no true closure. There are only the memories.
And after a 22-year absence, the Boston Celtics are NBA champions once again.